Hi, this is Pradeep. Today I'm going to explain about very important interview question, GR IR regrouping. This question is almost you can find that in every interview. If question related to FIMM integration will be there, then definitely this question can be put there. And practically I'm going to show you this one in the system so that we'll get more clarity. So question is, let me share the PPT. So what do you know about GR IR regrouping? Okay, so first of all, we have to understand what is GR IR grouping and why we need it. So the GRR clearing account, I'm sure you must be aware about the GRR clearing account when we are going to integrate with FIMM. So GRR clearing account is very important. So GRR clearing process involves calculating the price variance between your goods receipt, your invoice receipt, when we are going to allocate that to the inventory or to the assignment. So all these things, it is related to your GRR account or GRR clearing account. So what is GRIR account? So GRIR account is known as your goods receipt and invoice receipt, which already we know. It is part of our FIMM integration. So that means when we are going to have one goods received, so that time we are going to debit our inventory account and we are going to credit our GRIR account. So when there will be goods received from supplier, so that time invoice not received. That means GR done and invoice not yet received, which nothing but you when you are processing your migo entry. So that time your accounting entry is inventory account is going to debit and GRR account credit. So after this posting, so we processed the migo and after that you will find that GRR account having the credit balance. If other way, if there is invoice received first, then in that case that means goods received from the supplier, invoice received from the supplier but goods not yet delivered. So in that case the next accounting entry will be your GRIR account is going to debit and account receivable is going to credit. So in this case GRIR account having the credit balance, in this case GRIR account having the debit balance, right? So right now the current status is throughout the month we have this type of multiple transactions will be there. Now, it might happen that the GRR account sometimes, as I say here, you can see somewhere you will find a credit balance, somewhere it will be debit balance. Now it's month end. So in month end or end of the particular period, now we have to do the clearing activities. So that means if we can say if there is a credit balance, that means goods delivered but invoice not received. If there is debit balance, so that means invoice received but goods not yet delivered. Okay, so that means shipping not completed it. So now the business is required to display these two above mentioned business transactions correctly for their balance sheet point of view. So for this purpose we will use F.19. So if your interviewer asking question, what do you know about GRIR regrouping, or what is this use of transaction code F.9? So everything is the concept is same and answer will be the same. So if we are going to use transaction F.9, which practically we will do it, so we are going to have generating the adjustment postings. So what is the purpose of F.19? So F.19 is a program that is going to select all your GRIR account, all this GRIR clearing account, which right now we have open balance. So here you can see one open balance is there, this one, and here also we have one open balance is there, or open transactions are there. So it's going to combine all your GRR clearing account which having the open balance on a particular date, that we are saying that specified date. For example, if I will talk about this month, that means 31st March. So on 31st March, what is our GRR balance, or what is our clearing account balance? Because both the items are not completed. If we take the both scenario, somewhere invoice not received, some in second scenario goods not yet delivered. So on closing date we are going to do these adjustments. So this automatically system is going to process one adjustment entry through, because we have so many transactions are there, we have so many open GR are there, or open invoices are there. So through the batch we are going to process. So what F.19 is going to do here on the last working day, so check this one. If a credit balance in your GRR, that means goods delivered but invoice is not there or invoice is not received. So in this case, that means we are going to here use some adjustment account. Normally, you are familiar with FIMM integration in OBYC. You are using GRR clearing account, or under WRX, you are using the GRR account. So already you know this process. If you don't know, then I will add the integration steps in this I button. You can check that. But I'm talking today the GRR adjustment account. So GRR adjustment account means in this particular scenario, your debit entry will be your GRR adjustment account is going to debit, and credit will be your target account. So we are going to use one target account for your goods receipt, but invoice not received. So first entry is, let's check once again. The first entry is inventory debit, GRR credit, receipt, but invoice not received. And in month end, this adjustment entry will be your GRR adjustment account. It's a different account. So GRR adjust account debit and credit will be your target account. So the target account will be goods received and invoice not received. Now other way, if there is a debit balance in GRR account, means invoice received but goods not received. So in this case, your target account or your invoice received goods not received account is going to debit, and credit will be GRR adjustment account. Who is going to post this entry? No one. System is going to post this entry. Practically we will see it in the system. So system is going to post this entry. The purpose, what is the purpose here? Now next month, that means 1st of April or subsequent month, so on the next month system is going to reverse that one. So these entries will be reversed, then we will continue the process. So this is the use of your GRR regrouping account. I hope you got some idea. Now let's do it practically. I'm going to create two purchase order here with two different material. Then we will process in one, we are going to process the GR Migo. Another one we will process the invoice or Miro. Then we will do this GRR regrouping. So here I have listed two material. Material number one, the price of the material is 1224 INR, and we are going to procure 10 units. That means I'm going to create purchase order for 10 units. Material number two, price of the material is 130, and we are going to procure exactly same 10 units. But in this case, I'm going to process the Migo after creating PO, and in this case I'm going to process Miro, and we will have both debit and credit balance on our GRI account. Then we will run the F.19. So first I need to create purchase order, which you are already familiar. Creation of purchase order, same I'm doing here. So this is my purchase organization, purchase group, then company code. So as per my example Excel sheet, I'm going to take here material number one. Material number one, quantities, let's say we are going to procure 10 units. So price, delivery date is today's date, then plant and your storage location. So the price is reflecting here 1224, which is correct, and I'm going to process the PO. Let's note this PO. So this is my PO number, and I'm going to process the GR in this case. So here I'm going to proceed with goods received Migo in logistic, and simultaneously we are also going to check the accounting document for that. So I'm going to process Migo here with reference to that purchase order moment type 101, goods received against the purchase order, and post it. So this is my material document, and with reference to this, we are going to have the GR account balance. Let's check that. Okay, so 10 items with reference to that purchase order we processed. Up to this, it is normal FIMM integration and you are familiar. So it is nothing but your WRX, this account already mapped under OBYC, and this is your normal FIMM integration. So we got this particular entry. Now let me process one more purchase order. Material number 2. This one also I'm going to add 10 here. All the informations are same I'm taking here, just I change the material. So 140 per unit price as per this Excel. 130 and post it. Now with this we are going to process Myro, means directly we are going to process the invoice. Goods not received but invoice received. Shipping not completed, invoice received. No details found. Invoice received, goods not delivered. So let's take this one as 130 into 10. So my base price will be 1300 and quantity 10. So now my invoice is 1365 and post. And immediately you will find that invoice is blocked because goods not yet received. So status of invoice is showing it is blocked for payment. So we are not going to proceed with the payment, but you will find that invoice should be there. If I will check vendor invoice FBL1N, then here you will find that. Right. So invoice posted and status is blocked. So blocked for your invoice verification check. Invoice verification not completed or goods not received. Now check your GRI account. Now you can see in GRI account we have credit balance and we have debit balance. This credit balance we got because of Migo entry. This debit balance we have because of Miro entry. That means in this case goods received, invoice not received. In this case invoice received, goods not yet received. Now assume that today is 31st uh, 31st March and we are going to do the GRI regrouping, and let's see what is going to happen. Now, if I am the user, uh, particularly finance user point of view, these activities, this Migo, Miro, all these things done by the logistic users. Now, finance user, they are going to complete their period and activities and they're supposed to process here the Migo. Sorry, my mistake. They're supposed to process here the F.19. So what is our account here? 3005, company code, then your key date. So as I said, will be my last working day of the month. Assume that today is 31st March, right? Then we will go to posting. We are going to, although I have only few line items, but in reality, like multiple line entries will be there, multiple open entries will be there, GRR. So batch need to be processed. Give some name for the batch. So let's take this one as GR IR. You can use here any ledger. Let me take here the leading ledger. Then document date. I'm taking here today's date. Document type GL. And this is 31st March. 31st March. Okay, and reversal posting date. That means next month these entries will be reversed. So this will be your 1st April, right? Now I'm going to generate the batch, execute. Now here we got the entries related to that batch. So you can see the transaction keys, BNG, it's updated related to your GNB and BNG both updated means goods received. And so 1300 entries there. Practically we will see it in the particular GL account. So entry something is there. You want to see the document. If you click here, it's done. So it's showing. Now we are going to process the batch. SM35. So this is my batch. Select and execute. And done. Right, so it is done on 31st March. These activities are completed. Now if we'll take the balance sheet, or if you are going to do the balance sheet today, so that we are going to take the GRR balance. But because of this entry, now let's see what are the other entries are posted here. Now in this case we are going to use not only the GRR account, we are also going to use the target account. Okay, so let me check those in account first. 3018 1920. This is the answer what interview is asking to you, the use of F.19 which we have completed. To explain this one, I did some practical things. Now we will check these accounts along with our GR account 3018, 3019 and 3020. And also uh, let's assume that today is 1st April. Check. Now you can see multiple entries are there. If we'll try to understand, let me add here posting date. Right, so this is your balance. So we have GRIR account having credit and debit balance. Now you can see this adjustment account. So this adjustment account we have used for our grouping purpose. Now initially in your GRIR account, there is you have particularly this one 12,240. You have some, because it's showing some other entries. You can see some higher values are it's showing because I have some other open GR entries are there, so that is those are also reevaluated, so that is why. But if you check this item, you will get exact same figure. Okay, so these figures are adjusted. It's not only for this batch. As I process the batch, so it's not only one item we processed. I have in this particular company code some other open entries are there. Okay, so now you can see here on 31st March, there is one debit entry posted. So initially, or let me, for your clarity, let me do one thing. Let me take some old entries here. Instead of 29, let me take here 25th, suppose. Now you can see. So GRI account having some more entries because earlier we have some entries, other entries are there, and those are also open entries are there. Okay, so in total you will find this is your adjustment account first debited, because in this case goods received but invoice was not received, or invoice not received. So that's why this account debited on 31st March. This part is important. Try to understand this one. So on 31st March, this one is reevaluated. This one is valuated. So 31st March, this entry, initially it was credited, now it is debited. And then on 1st April, so if this entry is debited, then which account is credited here? The target account. So exactly same figure you can see here, GRR, shipped not invoiced. That means goods received but invoice not received. So that on 31st March, that account credited. So GRR account untouched, this account is credited and your target account is debited. Then on 1st April, the balance should be there in your GRR account to continue the process. So that's why on 1st April, this account, it's reversed. So this account is, again, it's credited on first, this account is debited and this account is credited. And exactly you have balance on your GRR account. Similarly, if you check the other entries, where invoice already received, so invoice received means GRR account having debit balance. So that is why on 31st March, this account is credited. Just opposite, this account is credited and your debit entry. 31st March, this one is debit entry. So GRR adjustment account was credited and this account is debited. So this 1300 here debited. Again on 1st April, it is reversed. So this invoice not delivered, invoice done, but goods not delivered. So this account is credited and this entry is your credit entry. It should be debit entry. In this case, GRR adjustment debit entry, and same figure is also updated in your GRR account. So this is the beauty of your F.19. So by using F.19, now we are going to have uh, GRR accounts are grouped together. So GRR account, which is your one of your closing activity, clearing of your GRR account, which is one of your closing activity, which is performed on the month end. So without touching the GRR account, we did these adjustments, or we grouped together, grouped this adjustment account along with the target account. So in one case, target account is shipped, not invoiced, means goods received but invoice not done. So that we did the adjustment. And this one, when we have the invoice but goods not received. Okay, so little bit confusing. Once you'll practice this one in the system, you'll get more clarity. So here two different purchase orders. In one case it is invoiced, in another case it is not invoiced. And balance sheet point of view, when we prepare on 31st March, you will find your GRR balance, adjusted balance. Then on 1st April, it will be reversed. Then further next month, we are going to continue with other activities. Where invoice not received, we will receive the invoice, we will process Miro. Where goods not received, we will receive the goods and we will continue with Miko. So this is very important question, and it is attached with your FIMM integration. So if definitely try this one in the system. If any confusion or any clarity is required, feel free to add in the comments, or you can mail me also. Thank you very much for watching this video.